Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Meteorologist Johnny Lively for our Tuesday morning update. We have moved on from the long Memorial weekend, and now we are heading into what looks to be a mostly dry day today. A little bit better coverage towards southwest Louisiana, but we're still on track for a pretty stormy Wednesday. Let's dive into what's going on in the Tamco Live Doppler radar. Very similar to what we saw yesterday, some isolated little downpours moving towards Galveston and Bolivar Peninsula this morning. But again, we're going to be mostly dry. These things aren't going to last too long, but if we zoom out, this is really the big headline here is what's going on out there towards West Texas. So that's where that disturbance is. It's creating these showers and thunderstorms. There's actually a risk for severe weather out there in parts of West Texas, large hail, damaging winds, and a very low threat for isolated tornadoes. There's not going to be a threat for severe weather for us. We could see some strong winds out of this, but what I'm just trying to show is what's happening out in West Texas is what's moving into our region coming in tomorrow on Wednesday morning, and will finally push out by Wednesday evening. We'll talk more on that here in just a second. But if we look at the satellite and radar, you can see it is definitely active out there in West Texas, but here across Central Texas into Southeast Texas, Southwest Louisiana, pretty quiet this morning, just some offshore light showers, and then we can see some rain over there in parts of Mississippi. But really, we're kind of stuck in between, not much going on. We've got the clouds, no rain right now, but we expect that to definitely change once we get into Wednesday. Thanks for a sponsor of Tamco, Hail Guard Beyond Class 4, showing us what's going on the satellite and radar. Pretty warm and muggy. We're pretty much across the majority of the United States. You can see everywhere pretty much into the 60s and 70s. Colorado, a little bit chillier, I guess you could say, into the 50s. But other than that, we are pretty much warm all across the board, especially down there in Brownsville and Miami in the upper 70s to low 80s. Thanks for a sponsor of Do Good Credit Union. But if we zoom into Southeast Texas, Southwest Louisiana, we're pretty much all the same. Upper 60s to low to mid 70s. The only warm spot right now is Galveston and Bolivar Peninsula, and really all along the coast into the upper 70s, approaching the low 80s pretty soon. We're going to warm up very quickly today, thanks for a sponsor of Neutron Electrical Services. Our outdoor and construction forecast for today, very similar to what we saw the last couple of days. We're going to warm up very fast, getting into the upper 80s, some spots into the low 90s. There is a small coverage of rain today. An isolated shower, isolated storm can be possible. Kind of what we see in the summer-like time. You've got the moisture, you've got the heat of the day, so you can always see the very small coverage of rain. A little bit better coverage over there towards southwest Louisiana. Thanks again to our sponsor of Modern Concrete and Material. Again, there's that chance for some severe thunderstorms today out there in West Texas and the hill country from Midland, San Angelo down to Eagle Pass and Laredo. Those storms will fire up right along the dry line now until this afternoon into the evening and carry on overnight as it gets into San Antonio, pushes into the Austin area. This will move into our area Wednesday morning. We'll actually put that into the future cast here. So let's show what's going on today. Just a chance for some isolated showers, mostly dry day today. We're going to get into the middle to upper 80s fast. Some areas getting into the low 90s, but a little bit better coverage towards southwest Louisiana. You can see some isolated storms, maybe a cluster of storms possible into the Lake Charles area. And then this evening, everything will kind of start dying down, but notice the clouds are moving in from the west because that's where those storms are going to be moving in on Wednesday morning. Those are the storms from west and central Texas moving into our area Wednesday morning. For Houston, this can move in about 5 to 7 a.m. For Beaumont, anywhere from about 7 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock in the mornings, and when this really starts moving into our region. And then we'll likely kind of see rounds of lingering rain off and on throughout the day on Wednesday, but the heaviest likely is going to be Wednesday morning, getting into the Wednesday lunchtime hours, and then the afternoons more of just kind of the lingering back building of some light to moderate rain. And then on Thursday is likely going to be some lingering showers and storms as well too, but the heaviest is going to be Wednesday morning into Wednesday lunchtime hours. How much rain are we talking? Right, widespread-wise, about a quarter to a half an inch does seem pretty likely. It's these isolated pockets that can get up to 1 to 2 inches of rain. We'll watch to see if 3 inches is possible. Just trying to show that 1 to 2 inches of rain definitely does seem pretty likely in some of these isolated pockets. Well, again, we'll watch the chance to see if any strong gusty winds comes out of these storms on Wednesday morning. But I really want to show that the most activity is going to be on Wednesday, a little bit on Thursday lingering, but the biggest activity is going to be tomorrow on Wednesday. You can see there on the future cast, and then a little bit lingering into Thursday as well too. We still somewhat into, I would say, an unsettled pattern. Now notice once we start getting into Friday and this weekend, you start seeing more of that yellow and orange coming in from the southern parts, more of the Gulf. That is that high pressure ridge that's kind of building in over there towards Miami, down towards the south. That's going to warm us up this weekend. And I wouldn't say it completely makes us dry this weekend, more than anything, we're going to warm up and we get into that summer-like pattern. So this brings us to the rainfall outlook. Our biggest coverage of rain definitely is going to be tomorrow. Starts Wednesday morning, peaking out through the lunchtime hours, and then some lingering back building kind of off and on throughout the day, but the heaviest will be into the morning. And then Thursday, we'll have the lingering showers and thunderstorms. And then as we get into the Friday, into this weekend, high pressure builds in from the south. We'll still keep some rain coverage in there. I don't think we go rain free, but biggest thing we're going to see is everybody getting into the upper 80s to low 90s Friday and into the weekend with the less rain coverage coming in. This afternoon is going to warm up very fast. We're going to get into the middle 80s quickly, but we're going to top out into the upper 80s. Some areas getting into the low 90s. A little bit better coverage over there for rain in southwest Louisiana versus southeast Texas, thanks to a sponsor of Silsby Ford. Get you one. Go look at their Facebook page. They got a really nice lineup of Ford trucks right now. Again, over there this evening, you can still see some lingering showers, possibly some storms this evening, but by tonight, it will all die down for Lake Charles and southwest Louisiana. But here for southeast Texas, we're going to be mostly dry today and into tonight. Temperature is going to be into the 70s all across the board, really warm down there towards the coast. Here's our southeast Texas 7-day forecast. Best coverage of rain is going to be on Wednesday, and then some lingering showers and storms possible on Thursday. And then we get into that summer-like pattern Friday into the weekend. Low coverage of rain, 10 to 20% coverage really at best, but the big thing is upper 80s to low 90s, and it's going to be warm and sticky overnight. Southwest Louisiana, you got a little bit better rain coverage really the next 5 to 7 days, but you can see the best coverage of rain is going to be tomorrow on Wednesday, lingering on Thursday, and then as we get into Friday and into the weekend, middle to upper 80s approaching. Wouldn't be shocked to see some areas in Louisiana get into the upper 80s to near 90-degree mark this weekend. Very summer-like pattern once we get into Friday. Wonderful time to go download the free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. It's going to be warm and muggy today, and we could track some storms tomorrow. So that's why you should definitely go download the free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. It will keep you updated around the clock 24/7. Y'all have a wonderful Tuesday morning. Thanks again for joining us. Lucas and I will have more updates throughout the day. Lucas will update our 7-day forecast this afternoon and have our next evening video later this evening. Have a good Tuesday, and thanks again for hanging out with us this morning. Get ready for a rainy and possibly a stormy Wednesday tomorrow.
Gulf Coast Weather Solutions is sponsored by
At Gulf Coast Weather Solutions, we focus on delivering reliable weather forecasts. Our new app provides reliable weather updates and alerts no matter where you are. With real-time weather alerts and warnings, you can stay informed and prepared wherever you go. Download the Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app today on the App Store and Google Play and stay connected no matter where you are.